calorie deficit is not a sustainable strategy to lose weight. That will slow down your metabolism, will make you crave because it will increase the hunger, will make you binge, and at the end you will gain more fat than you lost in that process. So if not losing weight by cutting down calories, what else? What's the best strategy? I will share that with you in this video because I am so passionate to share about the way I lost and I leaned down. I lost my excess body fat. I lost over 45 pounds. And I'm here to help you. But first, I have to present myself. I'm Janina Vlad, the founder of leanomcarb.com. And my mission in this life, one of my biggest passion, biggest mission of my life, is to help you lose weight, get healthier, and maintain a very healthy and low BMI, body mass index, for the rest of your life by adopting a whole food, high carb, low fat, plant-based vegan diet. And that is my secret, and that is the strategy. Let me explain why is that powerful tool in our day-to-day life. Because these whole foods that are high in carb and low in fat, that are unprocessed, are the foods that have the lowest calorie density on this earth. So, let me explain this concept of calorie density, because this is your best friend. Low calorie density food. This concept, it's key, it's crucial for our well-being and your weight loss process, as it was for me. We eat food to fuel our body to get the energy in. Some nutrients have more calories than others. A gram of fat has 9 calories, and a gram of carbs and a gram of proteins has less than that, less than half. It's 4 calories per gram. But they are not the 3 players. They are not the only big nutrients in our meals. Yes, we have fiber, it's type of carb, but this type of carb has 0 calories because we cannot process this type of carb. Cellulose, we don't have the enzyme to break down the walls of cellulose. That's why it's 0 calories to us. And water. So, as you may see, the more fiber and water a meal that we eat has, and the low amount of fat, that is 9 calories per gram, that means the low in calorie density per gram, per pound, per meal that food is. So, as you can see, the foods that the majority of people eat are high in fat and low in fiber and water, which makes them obesogenic foods. That's why you are overweight. They found out that people who have a fat content above 35%, 30 to 35%, but a lot of people have more than 50% of their daily calories coming from fat, they overeat. They end up eating an excess of calories, and they eat on average 3,500 calories a day. That's why people in our society are more overweight, because our staple foods in this modern society are high in fat and low in fiber and water. These are animal products and processed plant-based products. When you eat flour, for example, you don't eat flour, floury foods like pasta and bread and cookies, you removed from that grain all the fiber. And by eating bread, for example, you remove the water because it's dry. It's a dry carb. When you eat something with oil, what is oil? It's isolated molecule of fat. It's only fat. That is the most. It's not the most, because animal products, isolated fat from animal products like lard, has actually more calories than oil. But lard and oil are the most dense in calories foods on earth. They didn't exist in nature. We invented this type of foods, and we pay the bill for that. Yes, a food that has fat in it has more taste, I know. And this is the biggest problem we struggle in our society, in our environment, that is filled with these high-fat foods that are so rich in taste. On top of that, they have sugar that increase even more the taste. And they have table salt, sodium enrich the taste even more, and artificial flavorings. So yes, it's a trap, but we can escape from that trap. I escaped from that trap. Staying away of this high fat, low fiber and low water foods will keep you on this level of energy intake that is how we should normally eat. Will remove the excess of the calories. So be aware what's your number of daily fat intake. Pause this video, enter in chronometer.com and put in weight or on average, if you don't know the level of the weight and the measure of your portions on your current diet. But if you want to be more precise for the next days, you weigh your food and put the numbers in that calculator, and you will see the level of the fats. And after that, come back to this video and share with us in the comments how much fat do you eat. And this is a good indicator for the level. You already know how much pounds you are overweight, but this is an indicator of an obesogenic diet, a diet that promotes obesity long term. And while you are there in that calculator, please look up for the number of the grams of fiber. That's important. The majority of people have a daily intake of less than 20 grams of fiber. I have around 90 grams on average of fiber. This is your best friend. Like I said, fiber and water dilute the overall calorie of a meal. And it's what you want, because the other key concept when it comes to sustainable weight loss is satiety. We want to reach satiety to avoid feeling hungry in between meals, to avoid snacking, to avoid craving for more rich foods. Satiety is not difficult to achieve if you eat enough until you are full and stop before getting stuffed. So that means around 2 to 3 pounds of food. I eat around 3 pounds of food. My foods are fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes. If you make the mistake that a lot of ex-vegans did by filling these 2 to 3 pounds of food in a meal with a lot of non-starchy vegetables that are very low in calories, that are weight loss promoters, but they can promote starvation too. If you don't eat starchy vegetables aside or starchy grains. Because when you focus on cucumber, for example, and broccoli, cauliflower, celery, zucchini, and so on, and you leave such a small space on your plate and in your stomach for sweet potatoes, brown rice, you will end up having less than 500 calories per that meal. You will feel full. You will feel that your stomach is full because you have the volume. You have, with all those non-starchy vegetables, you have a lot of water and fiber, which is great. But the problem is you overeat on those and you don't leave space for the actual calories. Don't forget, we eat for calories. Calories are our fuel. Calories are our energy. Reach for at least 700 calories per meal. If you are overweight and severely overweight, more than that. When I was in the process of losing weight, when I had much more kilograms, pounds of body weight to feed, of course, I was eating over 1,000 calories per meal, and I had around 3 to 4 meals a day. So I was eating a lot more calories than I am eating now because I needed. That was the level of the energy that my body needed to function properly. And I lost weight sustainable. I lost that weight in around 9 months. And as a form of exercise was walking and some body weight exercises. So, like I said, it's good to know your numbers. Enter in this habit of measuring your food. This is not an eating disorder pattern. It's not. It's just an observation. We just have to know our numbers. Know your number. know how much calories are you currently eating. And after that, when you will make the transition to this lifestyle and having this diet I'm promoting to you right now, make sure to measure the food to make sure to have enough calories in that food, in that meal. Yes, when you eat a lot of high fiber, high water foods and you don't leave space for more dense, whole, high carb, low fat foods like potatoes, grains and legumes, whole grains, not white rice. Although white rice is good for the transition period of time, you don't leave space enough for potatoes. As a rule of thumb, have more potatoes than broccoli. Have more potatoes than salad. Because if you have a big salad, like let's say a pound and a half of salad, you won't have much space for potatoes. You will say, I'm full, because the stretch receptors, the volume receptors in your stomach will signal the brain, yes, we are full, it's enough food. But the receptors for nutrition are not touched, are not completely, they don't count enough calories in that meal. And that's why you will reach a moment later for something like a treat, for something sweet, for, of course, something that you are used to eat normally, like cakes and ice cream and candies and gummy bears. You will say, this food is not enough for me. This diet doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for everybody. It's working, but the problem is people are scared of eating potatoes and eating the rice and more this starchy foods, whole foods. And people are afraid of eating bananas, but bananas are 90 calories per 100 gram, comparing with a cookie that is 400 calories per 100 gram. And they don't eat bananas, they're afraid eating bananas, and choose the grapefruit and some citrus, and they don't eat enough of those. So they end up with less than 500 calories in that meal. But later on, they will eat the cookie. So they're afraid eating the natural sugars in banana that comes with a lot of water and fiber and a lot of nutrition, and they end up eating the sugar anyway, but in the form of processed sugar, in the form of that flour, that it's processed, refined grains. And of course, the cookies are never coming only with flour and sugar. They come with a lot of fat in the form of oil, margarine, lard, butter, dairy, other animal products, in eggs. I hope you understand the message. So, to wrap it up, focus on low and calorie density foods. So never go for a calorie deficit, go for calorie density, low in calorie density foods. And second key rule is to reach for satiety and make sure you eat enough to avoid craving, to avoid snacking, to avoid thinking about your old foods. And that is the way to lose weight for good and keep it off. Because with this diet, I lost over 45 pounds, and for the first time in my life, I keep it off. I lost this weight in 2021 at the beginning. And here I am 3 years later, and I'm still keeping the results. Without eating in deficit, I still eat a lot of food, not above 3,000 calories a day as I was eating while losing weight. But I'm still eating 2,400 calories on average each and every day. And as a form of exercise, is working. And yes, as you can see, push-ups and some squats. That is the message. I healed my eating disorders. I no longer yo-yo. I no longer crave. I no longer have cheat meals and cheat days. And I used to have a lot of those. I used to hate myself after those days and those meals. But not anymore. Because look, when you eat enough amount of calories that come with enough nutrition, because these foods that are high in carb and low in fat are the more dense in nutrition per calorie. Look it up. That's true. So of course, I don't crave because I don't have a deficient diet as I had before. Cravings are a sign of a deficient diet, deficient in calories, deficient in our ideal macronutrient for energy, which is carb, which is glucose, deficient in minerals like magnesium and others. Cravings are only a sign of a deficient diet. I don't drink coffee. Drinking coffee, it's another sign of a deficient diet. When people eat in deficit, or not in deficit, when they don't reach satiety because they have these foods that are very high in fat and very low in fiber and water, these foods that are very rich in calories per pound, of course they have to restrict in order to not get overly obese. So these people restrict and they leave the table before feeling satiety, but they reach for the coffee and other appetite suppressants and other neurostimulators to give the sensation of energy, of receiving energy. That's all, folks, for today. So reach for satiety, measure your food, know your numbers, and share it with us in the comments. And if you liked this video, if you learned something new today, please share it and like it, and subscribe for more like this. Until the next time, take better care of your body.